Welcome to All the Way Up podcast by Jeffrey Mensah. This is the Bar and Beyond series, a platform where we host insightful conversations that push growth, drive ambition, and shape perspectives of young lawyers. So welcome to the very first episode of All the Way Up podcast by Jeffrey Mensah. I titled this episode Expectations, and it's just to introduce myself to you first and foremost, and to share with you what the rationale behind this project is and what the objectives are that I seek to achieve with this project. And so by way of introduction, my name is Jeffrey Mensah, Jeffrey Osei Mensah. I'm a lawyer by training and a proud Ghanaian as well. Rationale behind this project, to sum it up in one phrase, I would say the podcast, All the Way Up podcast, is a platform that seeks to promote, to push relevant conversations that will push growth, will drive ambition, and will shape the perspectives of youngsters and young lawyers. All right. To shed a bit more light on what I mean by that, well, I noticed a gap. All right, a gap between two categories of people. There's the first category, which are youngsters, young people, youth like myself, who have ambition, want to achieve something, want to be successful in life. All right. And then the second category being adult achievers. So people who are probably older than us, who have been through various stages of life, who've chalked certain successes, who've attained certain heights. All right. That's category 2. And I noticed that there is very little interaction between these two categories of people. And you may ask, why is interaction so important between these two categories of people? Simply that the second category, adult achievers, have been through life, they've gathered experience, okay? And so they've learned lessons, vital lessons, which we youngsters, should we interact consistently with this category, second category of people, we should be able to do life better, be able to handle our challenges better, be able to achieve better, all right, learning from their experiences. But that's not the case. We have, in our part of the world, a very underdeveloped mentorship culture. And so there's very, very little interaction beyond the lecturer-student relationship, beyond the employer-employee relationship. There's very, very little interaction. And so I thought to myself, why don't we come up with a platform where we consistently engage members of the second category, that's adult achievers, okay? We get them to share their experiences. We get them to talk about what their journeys have been, where they are now, where they see themselves in a couple of years. And as we youngsters tune into such conversations, as we youngsters hear them share these stories, we also learn vital lessons which help us on our journeys. Okay. And so, that was the rationale. That is the rationale. And that's what I'm leveraging on to promote these conversations and these engagements between these two categories of people. And so in a nutshell, we just seek to learn from those who've gone ahead of us on this platform. And so, by way of objective, that's what we want to achieve. We want to gradually also develop a remote kind of mentorship culture. All right. Where as many people who tune into the podcast, who watch our videos on YouTube, can benefit, okay, can learn something. And so, how am I going to do this on this platform? Well, the All the Way Up podcast has three segments. I'm going to share with you two of the ones that I am working on, okay? And by working on, it means you're going to see episodes from those two segments very soon. They're not too distant season. All right. I already have some episodes already shot and will be published in subsequent weeks. I'll share that information with you very soon. And so because of my membership of the legal profession, of course, I have some sense of responsibility to the youngsters within my circle. And so you'll find out that the debut series or episodes of the podcast are going to be part of a series I dub Bar and Beyond series. And so it's the All the Way Up Bar and Beyond series. And the focus of that is really to engage with practitioners who've made marks for themselves and also interact with colleague lawyers on issues, on topics, on matters that are pertinent to the career growth, career trajectory of every young lawyer. All right. And so that's going to be the focus of the first series, the debut series I dubbed Bar and Beyond series. All right. And then we'll have a second series that will be rolled out, which I dubbed the Bar and Beyond GX series. That's the graduate experience series. And the inspiration behind that is basically the fact that I mean, in our day and age, we observe so many youngsters pursuing graduate studies, so many youngsters pursuing master's studies, doctoral studies, and they have varying motivations for doing this. Okay. And so I thought to myself, why not come up with a series, a platform where you could engage people who've pursued these graduate studies, be it doctoral studies, be it a master's, be it whatever it is, in whatever the field is, all right? Why don't we sit at a table and why don't we debrief? And so why don't we talk about how it started for them, what influenced their choice of program, what their experience at these institutions where they pursued these graduate studies was, what it was like when it came to matters like funding, and post the completion of their course of study, what it was like integrating what they've learned in a working environment, how it was like applying what they learned, how useful was the master's program, how useful was the doctoral degree to them in their working environment. All right. And so that's the GX series, and look out for that as well. And the very last segment is All the Way Up Classic. And at the appropriate time, I'll be shedding more light on that. That's still in the works. But for now, we're going to be looking at the Bar and Beyond series, and we'll also be touching on the GX series, which is the Graduate Experience series. Now, I'm not limiting it just to the legal profession, just to law students, just to lawyers. As we progress, I'm going to be opening up to other disciplines. And so we are going to be looking at the medical field, science field, engineering, and whatnot. It's just going to be all encompassing, because the underlying objective, really, the underlying audience or target audience for this podcast is really youth, regardless your discipline. And so this is what I seek to achieve with this podcast, and how I seek to achieve the objectives that I've shared with you. As far as the airings of the various episodes are concerned, we're going to be airing every other week. And so every 2 weeks, we are going to be releasing a new episode from one of the series that I've mentioned, either the Bar and Beyond series or the GX series, and subsequently the third series, which I'll be talking about in some time to come. The reason why we have that 2 week space apart is just so that between publications we have enough time to digest the stories that are shared, the content that is shared, because the target, the aim really is for this content not just to trend, not just to make waves, but to make impact. And so as many youngsters, as many youth as possible who can tune in, we want them to have adequate time to listen in. And we want to be able to assist that process also by chopping up episodes and making sure that they come out in absorbable bits, so that as many of us on various platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all the other podcast platforms, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, you name it. As many of you who are users of such platforms can engage with our content and digest it, and for it to be able to make impact. And so, as far as expectations is concerned, this is what you need to look out for. I'm pretty excited about this project, and I'll ask that you render your support by sharing the content when you can. You lend your support also by also tuning in, because impact really is what we seek to achieve with these episodes that will be rolling out. And so look forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. You should be excited as well. And let's journey let's journey together, and let's make this podcast a success, and let's make it impactful as well. So yes, I'm Jeffrey Mensah from All the Way Up Podcast by Jeffrey Mensah. Yeah, I'm the one, and I'll be looking forward to interacting with you guys on our various platforms. So thank you. Stick and stay.